Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you've had an amazing week. We are here today with our Friday review. Love this Friday review. Love the format of the show. It's a little bit of everything goes. We'll go through our updates for the week, what's been happening over the past week in the world, overall in our private practice, and so much more. Also be going over what's going on at Equilife. Hopefully you've been staying tuned into our global functional medicine and integrative health practice over there. A little podcast recap in case you missed anything. Product review, you want to stay tuned for this because the results came in today from the tap water versus Berkey water filter, and if the Berkey water filter is doing its job. All right, so that'll be coming as well. Our herb of the week, we are back after taking 1 week off from our herb of the week for good reason. We're back this week with a pretty powerful herb that's going to help with everything from hormones to potentially cancer to bone health through balancing mood and much more as we age. And then 2 research studies for you. I have them right here in front of me. One on improving cognitive function, energy, concentration, and memory loss. And the other one on, let's see here. It is this is one that I wanted to bring you because I actually have a ton of research in front of me, but I wanted to handpick this one. This is one of the diet plans that seems to have the best stick rate. So I want to share that with you here today. All right, well, let's get started. Today is April 15th if you're listening in live, and I appreciate you downloading the show that same day or watching it right on YouTube. The amazing thing, and I just chatted about this over the last couple Mondays, is that it's pretty wild. Like it's our functional medicine detox just ended. That's the 7-day. Again, some people will be doing 21-day for sure, but we coincide those with every season. So there's one in January, beginning of April, beginning of July, and then mid-September. And those are the 4 seasons. Basically, we're moving from to winter to spring to summer and fall. And yes, it's for overall health and anti-aging and autophagy and so much more, but also, it marks a new season. And I just always find it so remarkable that, if we're not paying attention on a daily basis, and honestly, even if we are, I don't know about you. I think it really depends on kind of where you're at in your life. And if you have kids, I think for sure you see these seasons pass quickly. Sometimes when you're in the moment, time is slow. Like there's no doubt about it. Getting your kids ready for bed at 7:30 at night, time moves slow. But when you are, out and about and you're looking back in your calendar and saying, wow, where's the time gone? Well, truly, we are moving at a rapid pace. And that is why when I always am trying to do my best to prepare for my Mindset and Motivation Mondays and trying to instill what I feel to be really the big takeaways in life, the overall grand scheme of things, it's that you have to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, life just continues to move. Like it's moving whether we choose for it to move or not, whether we choose to move forward with our plans in life or not, whether we're moving towards our goals or not, time continues to move. So it's one thing that I like to step back, breathe a little bit, understand that I certainly wasn't perfect over this last 90 days or the last quarter, but can I improve? Like, is there any way for me to improve overall in this quarter? And to simply do my best to re-engage with whatever my priorities are in life and how I might be able to just move forward that much more so that when I look back in the next 90 days from now, I can be satisfied. I can at least be a little happier with where I may be moving in life. And so I just wanted to share that with you. That's kind of what's been on my brain for this past week as we've been doing our functional medicine detox. And, I'll tell you, every detox is unique in and of itself. We had thousands upon thousands completing it. Some people for the first time, and they had, lower energy. They were, rebalancing blood sugar levels and all these different things. And some people, it was a breeze. And you just sometimes even like I noticed one person said, hey, this is my 5th detox. It's been a little bit more challenging. But by the end, I was feeling amazing. I got so many direct messages and so many tags on Instagram. So it's if you've never done a functional medicine detox before, I'm telling you right now, just at least learn more about it. We have a free course. If you want to go, head on over to stevencabral.com/courses. Just click on the detox one. It's completely free. Like it's 3 hours just of free information on what is a functional medicine detox, what ingredients need to be included in it. And then you can honestly choose whatever company you want. You know that I obviously formulate for Equilife, but it's all free. I mean, it's literally 3 hours of what is a functional medicine detox and why it is the closest thing I think we have to engaging in the fountain of youth, because it includes intermittent fasting and so much more. So definitely check that out. Again, that's completely free. And that's at stevencabral.com/courses. All right. So what's going on right now over at Equilife? Well, I'm glad you asked. Right now, we are taking a full 15% off all Equilife longevity line products. The reason why this is remarkable is because they just debuted 90 days ago. We haven't been talking about them a lot, and we don't want people to overlook the significance of the science behind these products. So they were clinically formulated by myself and one of our chief scientists on the team. I went through the ingredients I was looking for. Our chief scientist backed up with all clinical-based research, the dosage, the efficacy, and then we work with a third-party testing company that manufactures these ingredients to the exact formula we wanted. So these are Equilife exclusive products, and I couldn't be prouder and happier with them because I use them myself. And some of them I'm using directly with family. So for example, I don't take the bone support, but it is a product that I'm recommending my mom and other people, right? So these are products that I use in my practice with my family and myself. So everything from hormone support, like boosting estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA. We've got cardiovascular support, blood pressure support that includes vascular support for varicose veins, etc. We've got the bone support I mentioned, the glucose support. We've got the cell boost and the inflammast soothe, which are clinically proven mitochondrial boosters and balancing healthy levels of inflammation. That's our advanced renewal system. And again, it is unlike anything else out there, especially at the price point, because you know that we try to bring you the best quality products at the absolute lowest prices. And we're very, very proud to be able to do that. And then, of course, there is the brain support and the vision support. More than ever, we need these things, especially in the world we live. And then there is the daily hair support, which has been a game changer for thousands of people, using that to begin to thicken their hair, strengthen their hair, and even regrow new hair. Check out all the science and the specific ingredients over at stevencabral.com/shop and take 15% off this week while supplies last. All right, podcast recap before we get to that Berkey results and the herb of the week and the 2 research studies. Well, hopefully you tuned in Monday because we talked about the secret of the ultra successful. I love studying success in all areas of life. I love studying successful athletes, successful business people, successful relationship people, successful psychologists. Like, I love studying how they help people and they help themselves. I love it. And what I try to say is like, yeah, this person might be unique. There's no doubt about it. But is there anything that we can glean from this? What are they doing that we might be able to add into our life as well? And this was just one tip. I call it one big secret. And I think it is. And the reason why there's things called secrets, right, is because, well, the majority of us don't really know them. And I didn't know this until like maximum 4 years ago. Like at the very most, I would say 4 to 5 years ago, maximum, I did not understand the value of what a lot of the ultra successful put on in this one particular area of their life. Tune into that. That's episode 2257. 2258 was the best natural foods for boosting branched chain amino acids to help build metabolism or more muscle, however you want to put it. Exactly how to burn more fat as fuel. That episode is part of a 3-part series. That was episode 2259. And then episode 2260 was yesterday. And that was an actual case study where I take you through the entire Candida metabolic and vitamins test for a client that had low energy, low mood, irritability, poor sleep, and poor digestion. Low energy, low mood, irritability, poor sleep, and then poor digestion. If that sounds familiar for you or anyone else, you'll want to check out that show. I literally do a screen share all through the lab and take you through the underlying root causes of why people have these issues. Remember, there's always an underlying root cause. Sometimes there's multiple. This client had multiple. You want to check it out for all the details. But again, once you start to see these things, I think it just makes sense. I mean, it made sense to me at 19 years old. I know that I wasted 2 years of my life not doing this. But once I realized it, I'm like, wow, this is remarkable, right? It's absolutely remarkable. And speaking about that, I went through another lab on the Mind Pump podcast. If you haven't checked that out yet today, I'll put all the links. I'm just going to make it easy for you today. Go to stevencabral.com/2261 right now, if you don't mind, and you'll be able to find all of the research, all of the links, and the PDFs for the lab test results for the water that I'm about to share with you in just a moment. But I didn't get to mention it last week. I flew out to San Jose to meet the Mind Pump crew. Justin, Adam, Sal, and Doug, amazing group of guys. I've been on the show twice before, but this one was a little bit different. I actually read all of their labs live on the show, and it was a lot of fun. If you haven't checked out the show yet, it was a fun one. It was a popular one, so I'd love to be able to share that with you. And of course, I love sharing just great people in the industry, and they're doing some great things. And so a lot of fun. It was literally a 24-hour trip to, not technically 24 hours, but I was there for 24 hours. I flew in the day before, got there, basically went to bed that night, went to Whole Foods, then went to bed, woke up, did the show, drove back up to San Francisco, flew back out to the East Coast that next morning. That was the 3:30 a.m. wake up call that I've been telling you about. But it was a lot of fun, and seeing those guys being able to do that show and read their labs out loud on the show, I think helped a lot of people. We got a lot of great feedback. So definitely check that out. It's at stevencabral.com/2261. All right. Now, for the moment that we've been waiting for, let's get into the TAP score results. And I'll link up TAP score as well. This is basically an at-home water testing service, and it's so easy. You literally fill up 2 tubes that they send you, one a little bit larger, one a little bit smaller. You screw them tight. You ship them back in the box that they come in, and they give you the return paid address. Like, it's really easy to use. I'm hoping they give our community a discount for this, because when you check this out, I think you may be interested in it, but of course, I will let you decide. So what I decided to do is, because there's a lot of back and forth about the Berkey water filter. Does it take out aluminum or not? Because a lot of people are seeing aluminum, or some people are at least saying they see aluminum in their water. So I said, well, I don't want my 2 daughters drinking aluminum. Not that I want to drink aluminum either, but if you have kids, you know, like, you do everything for your kids. And so I don't want my daughters drinking aluminum. We work really hard in my house to not have any aluminum-based baking soda or baking powder or pans or spatulas or whatever. So obviously, we don't want them drinking aluminum in their water. So, and then there's a lot of people speaking negatively about the Berkey water filters. And I just wanted to say, listen, hey, if it's there, it's there. We got to call it out, because I'm unbiased and I'm fair about this. But also, I mean, if there's nothing going on, let's also build them up. Let's say, hey, like, what if there is nothing wrong? So let me go over the lab tests right now. I'm going to give you these for download. I don't think there's any private information on them of my information. If there is, it will just redact it, I guess. But I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to go through it right now. All right. So they test for almost 200 different markers. And basically, they're looking for all sorts of chemicals in your water. So let me tell you what was in my tap water. It starts out with the pH. The pH of the water is an 8, so that's pretty good. Anything above a 7, 7's about a neutral. 7.14 is about a neutral pH. So an 8 is slightly alkaline. And the reason why it's, just to cut right to the chase, the reason why it's slightly alkaline is that in my water, there's some, and this is just coming out of the tap, magnesium, sodium, calcium, and that's going to make your water a little bit more alkaline. Nothing wrong with that. It's not like it's super alkaline. So all good. Total dissolved solids. This is important. I'll mention why in a moment. Again, I'm going through my tap water, not my Berkey water right now. It's a 206. Total dissolved solids, that's pretty good. Again, in the 200s, that's a good amount of minerals. All right, and then we're just going to move on. All right, so we're going to move on. The lab test goes through, like I said, around 200 different markers or so. Everything from, we're talking about pesticides, petrochemicals, volatile organic compounds, all sorts of things like arsenic that you just don't want in your water. So, unfortunately, in my tap water, there was some barium. You don't want barium in your water. All of these things, well, not all of these things, but that's a naturally occurring one. And you might say, well, if it's naturally occurring, no big deal. Totally get it, totally understand. But the problem is it can come from, like, why is it in my water? It's used in petroleum production. It's used in radiology. It's used in pyrotechnics. Like, what is that doing in my water? It's not supposed to be there. Okay. So that is one I needed to make sure that my Berkey took out. And the other one is bromodichloromethane. This one was quite elevated. And so you say, okay, well, what's all this about bromodichloromethane? Well, the problem with this one is that it is used or was used as a flame retardant. So this is a problem, right? These are things, this is a true carcinogen that is in the water. It's essentially, when you look at these things, you say, okay, these things are supposed to not be in the water. These are sometimes in the environment. Sometimes they're man-made. What is it doing? Well, the thing is, these things can seep into our water-based supplies. So not as good. Think of it as basically a solvent. If you want to, a flame retardant or solvent, not good, being in your water and potentially carcinogenic for sure. So that was in my water, not ideal. Now we're going down to fluoride. The fluoride was about a 0.6, or it is a 0.6. I'm going to give you a little feedback on that just a moment when we look at the Berkey water filter. Magnesium's a 1.38. That's fine. Nitrates, fine. They're 0.3 and 0.28. I'm not as concerned about those, but I certainly don't want a whole lot of nitrates in my water. That's for sure. Like, I don't want to be consuming these. I stay away from them in general. There is a lot of issues concerning nitrates and nitrites. When overdone, they can be used as certain preservatives, etc. So again, I don't want a lot of that in my water. Potassium was a 2.86, sodium 28.8. Strontium sounds like a strange one, right? Only 0.247, but strontium is actually a mineral that's used for our bones. No issues there. And then sulfate at 27.8. I have no issues with sulfate for the most part. Sulfur in general is in many waters, especially volcanic-based waters. So overall, what am I looking at for my tap water? I don't want the fluoride in there. I don't want the nitrates or nitrates in there. Nitrate. I don't want the barium that I spoke about, and I definitely don't want the bromodichloromethane. So let's see if the Berkey did its job taking these things out. All right. So let me shrink down my screen a little bit so I can find it all. Oh, let's go back. All right. So the pH was an 8. The total dissolved solids was a 219. So about 10 more points higher, or technically 13. Now, this is important. I call this out for a specific reason. And the reason is that these were very close in water samples. But the thing is, I had to let my Berkey drain overnight, like let that water come in. So one sample was in the morning and one sample was from essentially the night before. So, you're going to see slightly different numbers for that fluoride number. And part of it could be the actual sample of water taken. I want to give Berkey the benefit of the doubt. Okay. So alkalinity is the same, and that makes sense because, again, there's about the same level of minerals. So calcium, 42.3. We've got chloride in here of 43.6. We have none of the barium. We have none of the bromodichloromethane. So again, the Berkey did take those out. I was very happy to see those. There is no nitrites left in this sample. There was a little bit of nitrate, and let's see. So the nitrite was taken out, and the nitrate was 0.9, and before it was about a 0.3. Okay. And then we are moving on to the potassium, which is a 3.53, the sodium, which was a 30.8, the strontium about the same at a 20.227, and the sulfate at a 20.6. Now, the one that we didn't want in there, got rid of all the nasty ones that we didn't really want, right? But fluoride is in there at a 0.6. So again, I'm going as this is basically a 1-for-1 because like the Berkey itself can't put fluoride into the water when it doesn't have fluoride. in any of the filters or the actual case itself, which is stainless steel. So here's the thing. There was no aluminum detected at all. A lot of people are saying that their Berkey is adding aluminum to their water. So I did some research on this. It does seem that the fluoride filters are the thing to blame. So Berkey right now is taking their fluoride filters off of their website and saying they're out of stock. I haven't spoken with Berkey. I don't own any stock in Berkey. To right now, it's the simplest water filter and best one that I know of without having like a whole house reverse osmosis water filtration or an under sink mount or any of those things. Again, it's the simplest, best right now to my knowledge. In the future, will there be a better one? Potentially, if Berkey doesn't continue to innovate. But here's the thing. So the aluminum is coming from aluminum oxide for some people because the inside of the fluoride filter has aluminum oxide to help bind up the fluoride. That's how it works. Here's the issue. I have fluoride filters in my Berkey. They're about 3 to 4 months old. Did they stop working? Well, maybe, or they didn't work, right? So it's either one or the other. They either stopped working or they didn't work. And I believe that Berkey knows that it has some work to do on these fluoride filters. Eliminating fluoride from water is very challenging. Unless you're doing reverse osmosis, I don't know of a water filter that claims they can take fluoride out of the water. Berkey was the first one to try to do that with add-on filters. So here's the thing. I don't have an issue with Berkey at all. There was no aluminum here. It's doing a good job of taking out the nasties from the water. That's it. I mean, it did it. Like it's right here in my lab results. This company doesn't know Berkey. So here's the deal. I have no problem recommending Berkey. I will tell you, it does not take the fluoride out of your water. And to me, that's still an issue, right? It's still an issue. The problem is now I look at it like this. Okay, so I either have to do a reverse osmosis, which I don't love because then they're taking all the minerals out of all the water and then I have to add them back in. So there's that issue, right? And then there's the next issue that I buy bottled spring water. And then if I buy bottled spring water, well, it then comes in plastic containers for the most part. Okay, so now I'm buying water that's now housed in plastic and maybe it got heated along the way. So there's that issue with plastics. So there's no perfect solution unless you literally bottle your own water. And then at that point, at a spring, you need to make sure that there's no bacteria in it, right? So it's a bit of a conundrum. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't have an issue with Berkey. I'll just say that right now. I have no issues with Berkey. I don't know of another water filter that takes fluoride out of the water. I hope that Berkey figures it out. And I will probably eventually have to look into reverse osmosis water and adding my own minerals back in, which is, yes, going to be a bit more of a pain. But for now, this is basically what I'm working with. So I just wanted to share that with you. Take it for what it's worth. I believe that you have those 3 main options, and I think every family will decide what is best for them. I'll link up the report here. If you want to run your own water, always recommend it. I will hopefully be able to get you a discount on that by going to stevencabral.com/2261. And you'll also be able to read my lab reports right there as well. All right. We are super short on time this week. I hate to do it. I really do. But I'm going to take out my herb of the week again. I apologize. I always make sure that we do our herb of the week every week. It's going to come next week. No doubt about it. Today was a longer review. This was really important. A lot of our IHPs and other people have been asking. I do want to bring you 2 quick research studies, though, for this week. First one's on B12, methylcobalamin. It is out of the Curious, probably pronounced that wrong. It's CUREUS, Journal of Medical Science. It was a new one to me. Probably popular, but hey, I don't know. I've never heard about that one. And this was 84% reported that having their B12 deficiency treated with daily oral supplementation and or infusions for 3 months led to significant improvement in their energy, concentration, memory loss, and disorientation. 78% had improved scores on the mini mental state exam, which evaluates memory, attention, and language. Even among those who said their symptoms didn't improve, more than half did better on the MMSE exam. Pretty impressive. I mean, that's pretty amazing overall. It talks about the nervous system, the myelin sheath, and so much more. So again, B12 is one of those ones that I think we hear about a lot, but I think maybe we hear about a lot for good reason. It is extremely important for our brain and nervous system. All right, so that is that on B12. Again, huge, always have been an advocate of it. I just usually don't recommend taking it all by itself. That's more of a conventional medicine thing, a green medicine thing. I recommend it more in your daily nutritional support or your activated B complex. All right. And again, always look for that methylcobalamin or the other functional medicine-based formulas as well. So, participants with obesity who participated in a weight loss program were given instructions for either a traditional weight management diet and exercise or the 5-2 diet, which involves 2 non-consecutive days of calorie restriction and 5 days of sensible eating. Both groups lost about the same amount of weight, 15% of participants in the standard group and 18% in the 5.2 group lost at least 5% of their body weight in a year. So that would be like, let's see, 10 pounds if you weigh 200 pounds, right? So 10 pounds weight loss in a year and kept it off. But those on the 5-2 diet said they were more likely to recommend that approach to others and were more willing to continue the diet after the study ended. Research suggests that at least some of the appeal of the 5-2 plan is that it can be explained briefly, which makes it seem less complicated. This study was done at Queen Mary University, London, England, and published in PLOS 1, PLOS 1. So why this is important, and I have a whole podcast on the 5-2 diet, so I'm going to link that up for you today. Again, at stephencabral.com/2261 will be all of the links. Why it's important is because the 5-2 diet really is easy. You know, it's let's say on Mondays and Thursdays, you're basically just doing a down calorie day. Maybe you're eating 500 calories for the day. So it's not a whole lot of food, but you're eating just a little bit, or you are maybe fasting until dinner on those days. So it's an easier way to look at it. There's all sorts of different variations. At the end of the day, if you don't overeat on the other days, you are at a caloric deficit for the week and over the course of a year. Okay, the majority of the participants lost on average 10 pounds. But the nice thing is this, that they're more likely to be able to keep it off, because there's a lot of studies that show people losing weight in 6 weeks. But, you know, again, the majority of those people regain the weight. So how can we help people on a sensible diet, as they called it, in order to be able to keep the weight loss off long term? Because we know that it's all about maintaining a healthy body weight, not the perfect body, whatever that means, but a healthy body weight so that we cut down on all the 4 major causes of mortality that unfortunately end our life about a decade too soon. So hopefully this information was helpful. Again, I'll link up more information on the 5-2 diet and much more at 2261. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Have an amazing weekend. You deserve it. And I'll be back tomorrow with our Cabral house calls answering our community's questions. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.